the call of yesterday's Liberty Fever game and joins us now on SportsCenter alongside her dogs in the background. Apparently, they want to be in the interview as well. 32 points, 8 rebounds, and 9 assists for Caitlin Clark. This is after missing 5 games with a quad. What stood out most about Caitlin's performance yesterday?
What stood out most to me, Amina, was that Caitlin Clark, even being out for those 3 weeks, did something on the basketball court that I've never seen a player do in the WNBA. And that was that stretch that you were just talking about, that 38-second stretch where she came down and hit not just 3 threes, but 3 bombs.
Rebecca Lobo just dropped a truth bomb so seismic, it rattled Caitlin Clark's jump shot into a double take after the Liberty game. This wasn't a casual comment. Lobo went full mic drop, sparking questions about whether Clark's hike machine just stalled at a crossroads. So, what exactly did she say? Why now? And are we witnessing the dawn of WNBA drama that could rival a Kardashian season finale? Buckle up, because Lobo's revelation is about to split the fan base like it's Game 7 of the finals. Let's dive into the shockwave.
The thing that impresses me most about her is her ability to step up in big moments. When the bright lights are on, Caitlin Clark is also on. She went off last night for 32 points, 9 assists, 8 rebounds, and 7 3-pointers. Now, you guys, she had been out for over 2 weeks with a quad injury, and some were wondering if she was going to have minutes restrictions, how much she was going to be playing, if she was going to be up to full speed, and she clearly was. There was a point during the game where she had 3 3-pointers in 38 seconds, and these weren't just regular old 3-pointers. These were her signature logo threes from feet behind the...
After months of treating Caitlin Clark like background noise, ESPN has finally snapped out of its slumber, right as she's turned every court into her personal mixtape. It's like the kid who forgot there was a final exam, stumbling in late with coffee breath, pretending they've been studying all along. Now, Clark isn't just the standout rookie. They're hyping her like the second coming of Diana Taurasi, Sue Bird, and a sprinkle of Steph Curry, all wrapped in a cloak of vengeance and barely veiled disrespect. Funny how the narrative changes when the highlights can't be ignored.
But today, we saw Caitlin have an unbelievable half. And a decent second half, in my opinion. Look, 6 assists. 6 assists, again, did turn the ball over a little bit, which wasn't the greatest half, but 7.6 assists, 4 boards is not a bad half. Like, that's 14-12 if she was on for that for the whole time. That's actually, that's not bad at all, to be honest. That's really...
It took Caitlin Clark dishing dimes, drilling logo threes, and hauling an entire franchise like Frodo, dragging the One Ring through mortar before ESPN gave her more than a 20-second cameo, wedged between pickleball updates and a deep dive on LeBron's beard. And even then, you could feel the tension in the studio, like they were trying to praise her while still detoxing from months of acting like she didn't exist. It was less a celebration and more a reluctant acknowledgement, as if their MVP radar had just rebooted after a prolonged outage.
The delusional fan base that follows her disrespected the WNBA players by saying she's going to go in that league and tear it apart. These people are so disrespectful and so unknowledgeable and so stupid. And Diana said it best. This kid's in for a rude awakening. This kid's on the wrong team. She's got the wrong skill set to handle the physicality of that league. This rookie class isn't even one of the best rookie classes in the last 10 years. She's just not built for the physicality of this league. Yeah. And she's not quick enough to get away from the physicality.
Now they're suddenly shocked that Caitlin Clark is good, as if she didn't drop 40 a night in college while getting double-teamed, triple-teamed, and occasionally shouted by mascots. But now that the bandwagon's finally rolling, ESPN is sprinting to the front like they were driving it the whole time. Yes, the same network that once aired her highlights with all the excitement of Attack Seminar is now replaying her latest no-look pass like it's the Zapruder film. Did you see the spin on that? They gasped, as if it's breaking news that Caitlin Clark can hoop. She didn't just arrive in the league. She's rewriting the broadcast script, one jaw-dropper at a time.
First quarter where the New York Liberty had an 11-point lead, and Indiana needed her to come out and do that to kind of get back into the game. Her passing was on point. Her scoring. Steph White took her out a little bit more, gave her a little bit more rest than we're accustomed to seeing from Caitlin Clark. She still played 30 minutes in the game, but that she had no rust, had a performance like that, and you could see the joy on her face, especially in that interaction you saw with Breanna Stewart about how happy she was to be back on the floor.
Yeah, missed those 5 games with a quad injury, but definitely looked like she did not miss a step at all. Clark tied her career high for 3-pointers with
ESPN's doing damage control like a teacher who just realized they graded the wrong kids test all semester. One week it was Caitlin's adjusting to the league, and the next, she's the future of basketball. Oh really? Was that not obvious when she casually broke ancient NCAA records or outdrew NBA playoff games just by stepping on the floor? They went from let's wait and see to she's the savior of the sport faster than Angel Reese can roll her eyes. And the highlight treatment. Night and day. They used to show Clark clips in potato quality. Now it's slow-mo, cinematic edits, Marvel-level replays, and analysts breaking down her footwork like it's state secrets. One more game like that, and they'll be airing her target runs in 4K. It took them 27 games and a public outcry, but ESPN finally realized Caitlin Clark isn't hype. She's history in real time.
Fans go, you know, this is wonderful. This is great. We get to watch. We have bleacher seats here, and we get to adore these athletes. Look at Caitlin Clark, how she's kept just taken over the country, and for that matter, maybe the world, and how she's encouraged so many young girls now to participate in sports, whether it's basketball or soccer or volleyball. My dad used to always say, the greatest thing about sports is that you learn so much about real life. You learn how to be unselfish. You learn how to be dedicated. You learn how to work hard. You learn how to win. And then you learn how to pick yourself up off the ground when you lose. And that's what life is all about. And so I just have so much respect for so many of these athletes that come along now. And
now ESPN's bringing on guests just to rave about Caitlin Clark, like it's a group therapy session for doubters who missed the bandwagon. Question the hike now, and you'll get side-eyed like someone clapping when a plane lands. In the church of ESPN, Clark is now St. 3 of Iowa. Meanwhile, she's just out there hooping. No theatrics, just dominance. She's not begging for flowers. She's earning them in real time. And the fans? They've been here. Day one. Merch, nosebleeds, and receipts, cheering while ESPN was still asleep on her name. Now that her highlights are racking up views, ESPN's flooding the feed, posting, reposting, remixing, like they're trying to cash in and cleanse the guilt. Acting like they were always believers. Sure you were.
Clark, this is her first game back in 4 or 5 games after dealing with the quad injury, and she did not disappoint. Came out with 32 points, 9 assists, 8 rebounds, almost a triple-double, but 7 3-pointers, y'all, and she was hitting them from 40 feet. Like, she was literally shooting from anywhere, and it was cashing out. In fact, at one point in time, she hit a ridiculous one that Stewie just had to throw her hands up, and they laughed all the way back down the floor because even
the irony? The more ESPN tries to lead the Caitlin Clark narrative, the more obvious it is they're just catching up. She didn't need them to blow up. They needed her to stay relevant. Her games trended while their other WNBA coverage barely registered. Now their socials are in full Clark mode. A basic crossover gets a 3-angle edit and top comments like she's her. 2 weeks ago, they barely blinked at 19 assist nights. Suddenly, the tone's changed. Glossier graphics, upgraded labels. From work in progress to record-breaking rookie. They're finally echoing what fans have been shouting since day one. The energy flipped. Primetime slots replace 11 a.m. tip-offs. ESPN didn't make Caitlin Clark a star. They just realized too late she already was.
Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever hand the New York Liberty their first loss of the season. If there was any question about how Caitlin Clark was going to perform after 19 days away with the quad injury, she answered them in the first half when she had a 38-second stretch where she hit 3 deep threes. She looked everything that we've come accustomed to watching from Caitlin Clark, whether it was scoring herself. She finished with 32 points on the day, 9 assists, a near triple-double with 8 rebounds as well. The Indiana Fever looking once again like a team that can contend for a championship, scoring 102 points against a very, very good New York Liberty.
Now everyone at ESPN's acting like they saw it coming, jumping on the We Believe train. But where were they when Clark was getting hacked with no calls, no credit? When she was stacking double-doubles and all they said was, let's get it time. Now it's nonstop praise, flowers she didn't ask for, but earned. And still, ESPN spins it like they discovered her, but Clark didn't need a spotlight. She was the light. They're just late to the shine. While they rewrite history, Clark's dropping 30 like it's routine. Every shot says, told you so. She didn't wait for their approval. She made them catch up.
Put it in perspective, right? These girls have been grinding to grow the game of basketball in the WNBA. They've been grinding to grow the sport to the world, the viewerships. They've been grinding for all of this. And then you have this girl that comes along from college and is an instant change. She's handed pretty much being the face of the league. There's going to be girls that are offended by that. And there's going to be girls that think she's got to earn it and she doesn't deserve this early. She's handled it great. I think she's performed last year. She's performing again this year. I think she's the rightful face.
Clark is undefeated at home at Gainbridge Fieldhouse when she's there cheering on the Indiana Pacers and when the Pacers are in the playoffs. I'm just saying that the Caitlin Clark effect is real, because when she's at Gainbridge and the Pacers are playing in the playoffs, they're winning. They are officially 8-0 in the playoffs when Caitlin Clark shows up to cheer them on. And the way that these full circle moments just keep coming round and round is nothing short of amazing.